Welcome back to the Chiefs Pit, Petty Brothers, Moonshine Speed Shop. We've had a lot of requests for some of these how-tos and some of the small stuff that people may or may not know how to do. We're going to kind of just go through a few of those, and there'll be some other things in the future. What we just got through doing is we CC'd the chamber volume of the head, basically filled it up. And what is that little line called, Chad?
It's a meniscus.
And I didn't know before Mike Hickey told me that what a meniscus was, but it's the little line where the bubble's at. And this is 100 cc burette. And the heads poured from the manufacturer said that it should be around 80 cc's. We measured 82. So on the volume for the block, I had no idea because these are flat top pistons, and that volume ended up being 11 cc's. Plus you add your thickness of your gasket, which they advertise it at 9.9 cc's, and then you add another dead bead volume of 1 cc, and that's kind of just a guess, but everybody uses it that I know of. Anyway, after all the numbers was crunched, we had like almost 10-to-1 compression for a street motor, and that's about all you want to run with a gas that you're going to be running. I'm sure you guys know all about that. Anyway, one of the things I like to do, and I don't know if you can see this, but a lot of people paint their freeze plugs, and we like to, for street stuff, I like to use the brass. Also, to break up the paint, I use the brass drain plugs as well, and I just wrap them up with some Teflon tape. Sure you know how to do that. So anyway, we're going to install those. We just got through putting the freeze plugs in, and these older blocks, a lot of times there'll be a few little lines that could potentially be a leaker. So we used a 2-part JB weld and sort of let it set up overnight. But there's a quick JB weld, a regular setup time, which usually it's about 24 hours, sometimes 48 to cure. But we've got that, and then I kind of press it in there with my fingers and do all that crazy stuff. But anyway, one of the things, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. While I'm doing this, Chad's over here. We've got a flathead. Tell us about that.
Everybody knows the 8N Ford tractors. It's a flathead. It's 119.7 cubic inches, and it's going to be the first one for us to do.
So tell us who that's for. That a good friend of ours, and I'll say his name is Craig Smokestack, which I say Smokestack, and ever since I've known him, I've called him the Smokestack. Anyway, he was a good friend of ours, or still is, and he had started this project and figured out that Chad was down here doing some tractor engines, actually doing a bang-up job, by the way. And he said he got back on the road again. And he said, "Hey, Chad, can you do our tractor engine for us?" And you was kind of reluctant at first, and you hesitant. You didn't want to do it.
Yeah, because I knew he's capable of doing it. So
oh yeah, he's got his own shop and all, but
be there in case he has any problems. We could tell him what to do next, or try to figure out how to get it done. And
so he actually started it, got it broke down and all that, and then he realized it's a little bit deeper than, you know, the little quirky things that we do here. It just adds to the pie, don't it?
And that in time for him just went completely away because having to be on the road full time is just.
So he was a member of the Menards crew with us. What year was that?
2011, 10, 11.
Yeah, yeah. So also today's my birthday, tomorrow's Chad's birthday, and I've got several phone calls, but one of them was from Dave Alker. We called him Turtle Wax Dave because he was with Turtle Wax at the time, and he would come. But anyway, he was at Indy, and he's talking about going to eat one of them Portillo's Italian beefs with a. And I told him, I said, "Well, don't get it unless you get the hot peppers." He said, "There's no other way of eating it." So, Galimba and all my Chicago friends, thanks for introducing me to that and the Chicago hot dogs. I couldn't go an episode without talking about food. You know, as you can well see, I'm built for food. Anyway, one of the other things I want to do, continue talking about I'm going to get this prepped to knock the seal in.
Well, we're getting set up to pull the sleeves out of this block, and we'll put new sleeves in, and it has a new set of pistons that are fit for the sleeves, and of course then we'll hone it to size It won't be a whole lot to that because you're really close, and start going back together with this thing.
Two places that Smokes Dad always talked about up in Minnesota's was it Bemidji
Bemidji.
and Brainerd with the mile-long straightaways. The couple of racetracks up there. I've never attended either one of them races in Minnesota, but we always give him a rise, from him being up there in the Great White, so to speak. But anyway, I've got this thing sitting up here, little cardboards because we painted it. Also, a lot of people, I don't know how y'all do it, but this is a double lip seal. Always make sure it's got twin seals in it. And then we'll put a little bit of a moly grease in there. Just because, I mean, what 90% of the failures that I've ever witnessed on a seal of any kind is you didn't have new oil or grease on it. And pretty simple. Hammer, piece of aluminum, front seal, put our drain plugs in. We already got our, and Chad's fixing the, you ready to take that sleeve out? So we wanted to do a practice run so we wouldn't look like a bunch of bozos. So the next video we're gonna have is probably Chad pulling them sleeves out. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for all your comments, commentary, and we appreciate it.